Some films are chaotic, some are cursed. But The Alamo, 1960, wasn't just a production nightmare. It became a battlefield disguised as a movie set. Behind John Wayne's patriotic dream was a storm of danger, financial collapse, hidden injuries, political interference, and a cast who quietly admitted they were scared for their lives. This wasn't Hollywood magic. This was survival. And the truth behind it was buried for decades. Here are 20 shocking, weird, and hidden facts that reveal the dark secrets behind one of the most dangerous productions in Hollywood history. This is The Alamo, Exposed. Fact 1. Wayne's Gamble. John Wayne didn't just direct The Alamo, he bet his entire life on it. Studios refused to fund the project, calling it outdated and financially insane. Wayne took it personally. He mortgaged his homes, sold assets, drained savings, and borrowed money from political donors hungry for a patriotic film. People close to him said Wayne looked possessed, pacing at night and muttering lines under his breath. By filming day one, he was so deep in debt that any delay could financially destroy him. That pressure infected everything on set. Every explosion, every delay, every injury carried the weight of Wayne's entire career and reputation. The Alamo wasn't just his dream, it was the burden that nearly crushed him. Fact 2. Unsafe Fortress. Wayne demanded a full-scale, stone-by-stone reconstruction of the 1836 Alamo. No facades, no lightweight materials, just a massive 400-acre fortress built like the real thing. Construction experts warned the structure wasn't settled. Walls shifted. Cracks appeared early. A scaffold collapse nearly killed 2 workers. During filming, cannon blasts caused parts of the fort to tremble and dust to pour from the towers. Safety teams pushed Wayne to pause production. He refused. "We'll fix it later," he said. The Alamo looked powerful on camera, but behind the scenes it was a ticking structural nightmare endangering everyone around it. Fact 3. Deadly explosions. Wayne insisted on using real cannons and oversized pyrotechnic charges to create authentic battlefield chaos. But authenticity came with danger. One explosion blasted gravel into an actor's face, requiring stitches. Another fireball ignited an extra's costume, forcing others to smother the flames. Multiple stunt performers suffered burns, concussions, and hearing damage. Insurance investigators visited the set twice due to repeated injuries. Wayne dismissed warnings, saying our battles weren't safe. Why should this be? Hollywood crews later admitted they had never seen pyrotechnics pushed this close to disaster. Fact 4. Heat chaos. Filming in Texas meant brutal temperatures reaching over 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Extras wore wool uniforms and leather gear that trapped heat. Dozens fainted. Others vomited between takes. Nurses worked non-stop treating dehydration. A doctor later said the extras were dropping like soldiers. The heat warped props, melted makeup, and left cast members delirious. Wayne refused to reschedule, insisting the harsh weather added realism. But for many, the sun became a second enemy, slowly wearing down morale and pushing bodies to their limit. Fact 5. Trapped actors. Lawrence Harvey despised the conditions. Richard Widmark hated them even more. Both men clashed with Wayne, hated the heat, and resentfully joked that signing the contract was the biggest mistake of their careers. Multiple attempts to quit were blocked by binding agreements. Widmark called the production punishment disguised as filmmaking. Harvey told friends the experience made him question Hollywood entirely. Their tension bled into their performances, adding an unexpected rawness the camera captured, because none of it was acting. Fact 6. Political control. Some of Wayne's financial backers were Texas politicians who quietly demanded influence over the script. They pushed Wayne to glorify certain figures, amplify patriotic messaging, and alter historical details for political gain. Scenes were rewritten overnight. Historians hired for accuracy saw their notes ignored. The Alamo stopped being a historical film and became a political tool disguised as entertainment. The pressure from donors weighed heavily on Wayne, whose desire to please them compromised storytelling and heightened the film's chaotic environment. Fact 7. Budget meltdown. Wayne began with an $8 million plan. Costs skyrocketed past $12 million, an enormous amount for 1960. Daily overruns were catastrophic. Wayne desperately sought more funding, selling personal items, begging lenders, and risking everything he owned. Crew members whispered that if filming didn't wrap soon, the studio might shut the entire production down. Instead of slowing down, Wayne pushed harder, creating a race against financial collapse that intensified the stress on everyone. Fact 8. Near-disaster fire. One misfired pyrotechnic charge ignited dry brush near the wooden palisade. Flames raced toward the fort. Panic erupted. Crew formed a bucket line while fire trucks sped across the ranch. A producer later admitted they were minutes from losing the entire set. The fire damage left scorch marks still visible weeks later. Wayne shut down production for only one day before resuming, refusing to let disaster delay his dream. Fact 9. Hidden injury. During a hectic battle sequence, a stuntman fell from the crumbling wall after a cannon blast shook the structure. He broke ribs and suffered internal injuries. Rather than halt production, executives quietly sent him to a remote hospital and allegedly required crew to sign confidentiality agreements. The injury was buried, never publicly acknowledged, and became one of the many secrets covered up to keep production moving. Fact 10. Exhausted. Wayne operated in a fog of exhaustion. Crew members said he slept 3 hours a night at best. He wrote rewrites at sunrise, directed all day, then acted all night. His temper fluctuated wildly, calm one minute, explosive the next. Some blamed stress, others blamed fear. Wayne knew failure would end his career and ruin him financially. The weight of that fear shaped every decision, creating a tense, unpredictable environment that pushed cast and crew to their breaking point. Fact 11. Toxic dust. The battleground scenes kicked up clouds of dust mixed with smoke, ash, and debris from repeated explosions. Cast members complained of burning throats, coughing fits, and eye irritation. Some extras said they couldn't see more than a few feet during certain takes. Doctors warned producers that long hours breathing the mixture could cause respiratory problems. Production continued anyway. Crew members quietly wore bandanas over their mouths when cameras weren't rolling. Actors weren't given the same option. Wayne demanded clear faces. The dust became its own villain, choking the set with every cannon blast. Fact 12. Costly animals. Wayne insisted on hundreds of horses, cattle, and longhorns to make the battlefield feel alive. But managing that many animals was a nightmare. Horses panicked during explosions, throwing riders. Wranglers struggled to keep herds from stampeding. One horse reportedly suffered a broken leg after tripping on uneven ground and had to be euthanized. Feed costs soared. Fencing broke. At one point, nearly 40 animals escaped the ranch and wandered onto nearby property. Locals joked the animals were trying to flee the production like everyone else. Fact 13. Secret rivalries. The tension between Lawrence Harvey and Richard Widmark is legendary, but few know how heated it truly became. Harvey mocked Widmark's acting style. Widmark mocked Harvey's arrogance. The two barely spoke unless the camera was rolling. Crew members described their energy as quietly explosive. In one incident, Widmark reportedly stormed off set after Harvey refused to follow blocking directions. Wayne had to personally intervene. Their rivalry added authenticity to their on-screen conflict, but off-screen it contributed to a toxic environment where insults replaced collaboration. Fact 14. Dangerous night shoots were especially hazardous. Temperatures dropped sharply, making extras shiver in damp clothes. Equipment became slippery with condensation. Visibility was awful, and the enormous battlefield required dozens of fire pots and torches to light. One actor tripped in the dark and sprained his ankle. A crew member accidentally walked into a flame pot and suffered severe burns on his leg. The chaotic mix of fire, shadows, and exhaustion turned every night scene into a minefield. Fact 15. Lost footage. The Alamo originally had a much longer cut, over 200 minutes, and multiple scenes were filmed that have since vanished. Editors later admitted entire reels were removed under pressure to shorten the runtime. Some footage was stored improperly and deteriorated beyond repair. Other scenes disappeared completely, with rumors suggesting they were tossed out to save space. Fans have searched for decades, but several key sequences, especially extended battle moments, are considered permanently lost, adding mystery to an already troubled production. Fact 16. Broken props. Swords snapped, rifles jammed, cannons misfired. Many props weren't built to withstand Wayne's demand for realism. During one battle take, a prop lance shattered mid-charge, stabbing an extra in the shoulder. Another time, a musket barrel overheated and cracked. Armor plates dented easily, causing sharp edges that cut into extras' arms. The prop department worked overtime, replacing broken gear almost daily. Wayne joked that the props died as often as the soldiers, but for the people using them, it wasn't funny. It was dangerous. Fact 17. Crew revolt. Halfway through production, tensions hit a breaking point. Long hours, unsafe conditions, and constant pressure led to whispers of a crew walkout. A group of technicians confronted a producer, demanding more breaks and better safety protocols. Wayne, furious, held an emergency meeting and promised improvements. Only some changes were made. The revolt never became public, but insiders confirmed it was the closest the film came to shutting down before completion. Fact 18. Illness outbreak. At one point, dozens of extras were hit with a sudden wave of flu-like symptoms. Vomiting, fever, chills, the works. Doctors traced it to contaminated water barrels used between takes. Production had to replace all drinking water on set. Wayne reportedly exploded in anger, accusing crew of carelessness. Illness lingered for weeks. Some extras worked through it, coughing their way through scenes, because they feared losing their pay. The outbreak was quietly covered up. Fact 19. Exhausted extras were the unsung victims of the Alamo. Many worked 12 to 14-hour days for minimal pay. They endured explosions, choking dust, burning sun, freezing nights, and heavy costumes. Some slept on site in makeshift tents. Others arrived home covered in bruises and burns. A few tried to quit mid-shoot, but were told their replacements would take days to train. The production relied on their suffering. Without them, the giant battle scenes would collapse. Their exhaustion became another hidden cost. Fact 20. Wayne's burden. By the final day of filming, Wayne looked physically broken. Crew members said he had aged 10 years and 10 months. His hair thinned, his voice cracked, his hands shook. When the last shot wrapped, Wayne didn't celebrate. He walked into his trailer, closed the door, and sat alone for almost an hour. The film nearly bankrupted him, nearly ruined his health, and nearly destroyed his reputation. But he finished it. Not because Hollywood asked for it, but because he couldn't bear the thought of failing. The Alamo became his proving ground and his greatest burden. The Alamo was supposed to honor heroes. Instead, it created new ones. Behind the camera, fighting exhaustion, injury, chaos, and fear. What you see on screen is bravery. What you don't see is the cost. John Wayne chased a dream so big it consumed everyone around it. A film built on pressure, danger, and risk became a legacy carved in sweat and sacrifice. And in the end, the biggest battle wasn't fought in 1836, it was fought in 1960. Because sometimes the most dangerous stories aren't the ones we watch, they're the ones we make.